Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to EPBS Breakout Call 24. Let me share the agenda in the chat real quick. Just shared. I think I'd like to start by announcing that there is a new spec release, beta.0, which has a bunch of updates for EPBS. In the agenda, I've listed open PRs and merged PRs. Many of the merged PRs are included in this release. Terrence, would you like to go over some of the open testing PRs that you have for EPBS and like what the status is of those?
Yeah, I think the only one we don't have in block operation is process withdrawal. And frankly, I was a bit hesitant to work on it a couple weeks ago because of I wasn't sure if there will be changes on the get expected withdrawal function. And that function is pretty convoluted right now. There's three for loops within the same function. So I wasn't sure if there's going to be any refactorial changes to that, but sounds like there's going to be no change to that. Francesco mentioned that. And so I can continue working on it, or anyone is more than free to pick this up. It's a really difficult unit test to write. You have to be very careful given all the conditions because because besides builder withdrawal, there's also partial withdrawal, and then there's process withdrawal right after. So there's edge cases you can think of like what happens if the balance run out, blah 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 blah, right? So yeah, I'm happy to continue working on it, but anyone more than free to pick this up. And for choice test is another one that's I wouldn't say it's low priority, but like I rather focus on Prism work implementation for DevNet Zero than the for sure test. But that's something that we should not neglect. It's also very important given the edge cases because of now you have this notion of the empty slot. So when a proposal builds on the previous block, when a proposal builds on head, there is like this option of like what is the root and what is the block hash basically. And that also makes Fortress test a little tricky. You also have to consider the PPC status as well. And yeah, so I have last time I mentioned I have a HackMD. I also shared that with all the edge cases. I want feedback, but I haven't gotten the feedback. And that's something that I think definitely like Mikhail or like Roberto from the EF to also take a look as well because they are the experts on that. Yeah. So those are the two open ones. Yeah, and but right now I'm focusing mostly on Prism Definite Zero work.
Cool. Yeah, I forgot about the refactoring of process withdrawals. I'll need to talk with Stokes about whether or not he wants to do that sooner or later. And I agree that focusing on Prism implementation for DevNet Zero is probably a higher priority than the fork choice test at the moment. Cool, thank you. And I guess this leads well into implementation updates from clients. Terrence, again, what's the status?
Yeah, so I'm just implementing DevNet Zero. I have like a few PRs out. The porters need to review that. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know if we're on track. It's kind of too early to tell for end of October, but yeah, we're definitely working very hard to get there. So yeah, so we're implementing everything that's beta zero right now. And yeah, I think in 2 weeks we'll have a better idea on where we are.
Awesome, thank you. I don't think there's anyone from Lighthouse here, is there? Okay. In that case, Teku and Stefan, do you have any status updates for your implementation?
Uh, yeah, sure. Yeah, we've done all the containers for beta zero. Um, and most of the block processing is done. Passing the reference tests, most of them. Um, but yeah, there's still quite a lot of work. So I think in 2 weeks also we'll have more updates, hopefully.
Cool. Thank you. I don't think there's anyone from Nimbus here. So Lodestar, Nico?
We did a bunch of preparations mostly, like got the BPS changes done. There was quite a big refactoring. In terms of EPBS stuff, we did the containers. What else? All the constants, a lot of boilerplating. I'm not sure if NC has more updates.
No, I'm just fixing up some of the types in the Lodestar code base. But yeah, it's still pretty early for us.
Okay. Yep, it seems that's fine. And then I guess Grandine, do you guys have any status updates for your implementation?
Yeah, so mostly the changes has been made related to a beacon chain. So I worked on implementing the containers and then the helper functions related to it. Apart from that, I'm making some progress related to the state transition functions. I think the particular one that was taken out of process block was giving a bit of trouble, but yeah. And we're looking forward to making sense of the fork choice changes, because it's our own implementation is a bit different from others. So yeah, we're working on that.
Great. Great. Thank you. Yeah, I think the next 2 weeks will be, or in 2 weeks will be further along and it'll be more interesting. And welcome, POTUS. No worries about being late. Next up on the agenda is just to reiterate plans for EPBS DevNet 0. It will be based on the beta 0 specifications, and I've added a note here from Barnabas to provide an EPBS-DevNet-0 branch for ETH Panda Ops whenever you can, but preferably by the end of October. Okay, moving on one more time. There was a question in the EPBS Discord from Stefan about whether or not data column sidecar needed a slot field. Are there any updates on that?
Not really. It was just an observation. So in data column sidecar object in Teku, we have a get slot, which basically gets the slot from the header right now, and it's used in quite a few places around tests and other places. So I'm not sure what the impact is yet for us. But I think for now it's okay to just ignore that and probably come back to it later. I think for DevNet 0, we are gonna run without any blobs anyways, so no, not a big issue for now.
Okay. POTUS.
Yeah, actually, something that I raised a long time ago, but we still haven't had time to look into. I'm worried about the code from Fulu. When we designed EPBS and when we implemented it, it was on top of Electra. And in Fusaka, I mean, we have all of these blobs that with the KCG commitments that are coming in the block. And the KCG commitments are no longer coming from the block, in the block. In the spec, this is not a problem because we never need to access them. But in implementation, it seems to me, I looked briefly in Prism, and it seems to me that it's very insidious, the fact that we look for the KCG commitments in the beacon block, and this is not going to work on EPBS. So I suspect that this is also going to be a big pain when trying to rebase EPBS on top of Fulu.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we had the same issue. I mean, not an issue, but I remember when I did the EPBS interrupt for Teku, I changed it a lot of places to get it from the envelope rather than the block.
Right, we could do this for blobs on Electra because we already had it on develop, but then all of the Fusaka branch, all of the Fusaka implementation was being carried in a different branch, which now merged into develop, and changing all of that to take the KCG commitments out of the block. I don't know how bad that's gonna be. Terence probably has already worked that out, so I'm probably talking out of an empty statement. Perhaps Terence already solved this.
Terrence says, nah, haven't solved it yet. Okay, interesting. We can follow up on that. Okay, anything else about the data column sidecar structure? I guess we can figure this out, and if it's necessary to have the slot field, and include that in the next release, and then for the next DevNet, if necessary. Okay, I guess there's one other item on the agenda, which is a note from POTUS about the fact that it's impossible to keep latest execution payload header in the beacon state. Just a reminder. And POTUS, do you want to talk any more about that?
This is just a notice for people that are implementing. If you're looking at this, the latest release already has this. It was a PR by Francesco. We had this discussion with 3 different options. Rename only the latest payload header to being latest payload bit. Then there was an option that Terrence implemented that was move the payload bit as a new member and make the payload header empty. And then there was this other one that was trying to keep the payload header with all of the information, because having an empty one didn't make any sense. And I agree. Everyone agreed that having an empty one didn't make any sense. So we say, okay, last time we had a breakout, we agreed on keeping the full payload header. But that was a stupid decision, because the payload header commits to the root, to the state root, which cannot be known before. So there's a circular dependency there. So we cannot really have the latest payload header with the current functionality. Therefore, the only two options are having an empty one or just reusing the position, and we decided just reuse the position. So this is more a heads up for Lodestar, because Lodestar complained about removing fields. This is changing the payload header by a different one, which is the bid. If this is too much of a problem to Lodestar, we can see what to do.
Cool, thank you. And NC, thumbs up. I guess that's it for the agenda. Is there anything else that anyone else would want to talk about?
There was a comment today about SSZ. I think it was also NC.
Yeah, I was just trying to run the beta zeros as a Z static test, and I saw there's a fork choice node container in the static test. I'm not sure if that's intentional.
Probably not, but I can double check.
Yeah, it was a good catch. I think it's probably we need to remove it now. The only place where I can see it might be useful to have it as an SSZ object is in the Beacon API when we dump the fork choice, but currently that's not even specified. So
yeah, I think we can convert it to a data class, so that's not a SSC object. I can look into it. Anything else from anyone?
the race is on. We already are merging to develop.
Yeah.
So now we're racing to see who implements first.
Yep.
Is there a price or
bragging rights?
yeah, fair enough. Twitter post.
Yes. Okay, I'll let you guys get back to developing then. Talk to you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
I'm sorry for being so late.
Thank you guys.
It's fine.
Yeah.